Welcome back. Well, we want to take a further step beyond our shores, and we want to go to Middle East and talk about a few things that is bothering most of us. Middle East is also known as Muddle East. It is rich in oil, the resource that we need to run our vehicles and most of the machines. Wherever there is oil, it is said there is turmoil. And where there is turmoil, there is arms and arms sellers. Distinguished guest today, Mr. Nashit Rahman. We have Iraq, Iran, Qatar and Libya. Iraq produces oil, 4.77 million barrels per day. Who benefits, we do not know, not the people. Iran, 13% of the global oil revenue, reserve it has. 15% of global gas. China is Iran's largest buyer of oil and gas. US imports crude oil from Iran. That's very interesting. Qatar oil reserves 25.7 billion barrels. Almost all of its oil fields are offshore. Only exception is Dukhan. It produced 1.92 million barrels per day in 2017. It has a population of 2,083,839,000, which is, it has got wealth beyond its needs. Libya, which provided a social welfare system that was nowhere in the world. Every Libyan was offered a house. Even the nomads, the Bedou, who moved from one place to another place to another place in the deserts, they were provided with teachers and doctors who would move with them. Not that they would, the Bedou will have to come to the hospital, but the hospital, a mobile hospital was with them. A mobile school was with them. Now, we got rid of the Libyan leader, and the country is now in a state that one cannot see and describe. See, they all had oil. So where there is oil, I always say there is turmoil. Now, why the turmoil? Because if they are in peace, I can't do business. The world's biggest trade is arm. If there is peace, there is no selling of arms. See, yes, you can keep for fun. 1 million, 2 million guns may be sold in a year's or 10 years' time. See, but not like production of the company and the factory, and then it's used and ammunition is used because ammunition is so expensive. See. So where is the world going towards? Are we, this current Iran and America US showdown was considered to be for some time, for a few weeks, that is it the beginning of the Third World War, but then it's quieting down. Mr. Trump is going to announce his new peace initiative, which he calls a deal. And he says that at first, the Palestinians would not like it, but it's a big deal, it's a good deal, and I like to do good business deals. Recently, Prince Charles went to Jerusalem, met Christians and Muslims. A friend of mine from Middle East, a journalist, he wrote to me today that why wasn't he taken to Deir Yassin and those other villages where the official hands, the extensions of Israeli army had created massacres of innocent Palestinian children. So are we talking about peace, or are we talking about a status quo? It will continue like this until and unless somebody stands up and say, no, this is the end.
You answer all the questions. Oil and turmoil, arms sale and existence of Israel. This is the main three things.
Right.
And the inception of social media created the Arab Spring. Who is the victim? Not a single monarchy in Arab regime. Syria, Libya and all other countries. And if you look at the education rate, Iraq and Libya was the most educated part of that region.
True.
And yes, Saddam and Gaddafi was not a blue-eyed boy for human rights and all other atrocities. But what the monarchies are doing? Look at the monarchies, their health system, their welfare system, their education system, rate of childbirth rate and all other social index. They are far behind from, even think about Syria. With all the atrocities, Assad, he was Western educated. His wife is from Cardiff. So it's not that the Western education is making them that welfare state. It's the psyche of non-monarchism. If you look at the inner fighting in Saudi Arabia and the turmoil in Oman after Sultan Qaboos' demise. So we know that the West understand the democracy in Middle East is failed. In 1990 in Algeria, constantly in Iraq, even yesterday Muqtada al-Sadr showdown, and he showed that I am the person who can control Iraq. And regarding Iran, what my personal understanding is, it is a personal issue of Mike Pompeo, since he was the Director General of CIA. He know the Qasem Soleimani was the most powerful and most strategic person in Middle East against Israel and America. And Mr. Trump's have two motto. One is he want to divert the attention from the impeachment trial, and second one, he want the Nobel. So I will not be surprised if there is a Rouhani Trump meeting in this year and Trump win the Nobel Prize next year. I don't think there will be third world. I don't think Iran's political leadership are so dumb like Mr. Trump. They will call for their end, and it's a matter of time. The half-mad man in Washington, he will push the button and destroy 52 targets in Iran. It's a matter of time. So Iranian leadership and there's two things. One is political leadership and spiritual leadership. Both do understand the psyche of.
They're very mature.
Very matured, and their policy in Middle East is most effective. Although everyone is saying the Shia card, Hamas and Hezbollah are not 100% Shia.
True.
The Gaza is not 100% Shia, and Houthi and Yemen are not 100% Shia and Sunni.
Well, Bahrain is not 100% Shia. Qatar is not 100% Shia. But what they have done is they have ostracized Qatar. See? Bahrain and Qatar. It's only 80 miles, see, or probably 80 kilometers, see, but you have to go via Kuwait to Bahrain. And it's a longer distance, see.
Absolutely.
You cannot get Al Jazeera in Saudi Arabia. I mean television channel. You cannot get Al Jazeera television channel in Bahrain.
UAE?
Yeah, somebody came to my house in London here, and came from Bahrain, and I was watching Al Jazeera TV channel, and he said that, oh, there's something I'm watching after a long time. So I said, why? Why can't you? He said, no, we don't get it.
So why is the West, when there's a blatant violation of human rights, there's no press freedom, there's no women right, and you are teaching all these things in Iraq, Syria and Libya? It's not two-eyed policy, it's four-eyed policy.
True.
So we know the arms cell will rocket, and Mr. Trump's peace initiative will be written by Jared Kushner and designed by Jerusalem. And there was a phenomenon yesterday, Emmanuel Macron, he shouted to the Israeli police officers in that church, get out. You have no jurisdiction, you have no work here. And the Jack Chirac have done the very same thing 20 years ago. So it's not the all West are hiding the Israeli atrocity. Yes, still there is humanity, still there is a voice. However, I think the Middle East policy is controlled by Israel and supporters of Israel.
And it will continue to be controlled.
Yes.
Because I think that some of the Middle Eastern powers, I would not like to name them, they are now on their knees to please and some of them, you know, even donated to Mr. Netanyahu's election fund. So they are on their knees to have peace, but why is it that they need peace with Israel? Because they have no enmity with Israel. You see, Israel wants land, see, and Israel has not gone on to other countries. See, they have been grabbing lands that belongs to Palestine, and that is Palestinian land, because they think that 1,000 years ago they were driven away from there. So it is historically probably the same thing is happening in India. They're saying that the Mughals came and the Genghis Khan came and Nadir Shah came and they captured our land and they turned our mosques into our temples into mosques, see, mandir to masjid. The most funny thing was that when they said that this Shahi mosque in Delhi, see, which is on the raised platforms, you see, this is no mosque is on the raised platform, because all the mosques are on flat platform, and this is like a temple. See, they have not seen mosques. See, even in Lal Bagh, Dhaka, that Masjid Khan Muhammad, see, the road that takes you towards Nawabganj, you see, Masjid Khan Muhammad on your right, you see, it's like that, very much like the Shahi Masjid in Delhi. See, so all these views are concentrated only on one thing, against Muslims. So are we the target of all in the entire world, or is it just a conception of mine?
We are target from all the parties, and second thing is the very same policy in India, very same policy in Israel, very same policy in other parts of the world.
Right.
And if you look at the inner politics of India and Israel, same. With Barak and Netanyahu, both are charged by their own prosecutor for corruption. So many prime ministers and ministers are behind the bar in India and in Israel. Modi was the butcher of Gujarat. Yes, Mr. Trump, same.
Well, on that very hopeful note that something happens good for the country, good for the world. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure hosting you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us time. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as we have. Same time, same channel, next week. See you again. Take care.